Welcome back, everybody. We're diving deep today into the world of Prince Harry.
Not for the reasons you might expect, though.
Right. He's in Canada, getting ready for the 2025 Invictus Games.
But there's a deeper story here.
Definitely deep.
We're going beyond the headlines.
Absolutely. We're going to explore a connection that goes way beyond the competition.
Yeah, we're looking at a bunch of different sources today.
Okay.
Articles about Harry's recent visit,
Okay.
background on the Invictus Games, and we'll even bring in a few pieces on Meghan Markle just for some context.
Interesting. And for everyone listening, you can find links to all of that down in the episode description.
Exactly.
And while you're down there, if you're liking what you're hearing so far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Timely Trends and News.
It really helps us out.
Helps us bring these stories to a wider audience.
Definitely.
So let's get back to Prince Harry.
Okay.
What really caught my eye was this visit to the Musqueam Indian Reserve in Vancouver.
Yeah.
It seemed like way more than just a photo op.
Oh, definitely. You're onto something there. This wasn't just a quick stop.
Uh-huh.
Harry was welcomed into the little house. It's a space the Musqueam consider sacred.
Wow.
For family and community gatherings.
So it's a pretty big deal.
Huge symbol of inclusion and respect.
Yeah, and I read about this tradition.
Oh, yeah.
Of leaving negative thoughts behind on a nail outside the little house.
It's pretty powerful.
What an image. What do you think about that?
I think it says a lot about the Musqueam's focus on creating a positive and healing environment.
Wow.
Imagine entering a space where negativity is intentionally left at the door.
That's amazing.
What impact might that have on conversations, connections?
Sure.
It's a reminder that we have a choice in how we approach interactions, even when things are tough.
It really makes you think about the spaces we create, right?
Absolutely.
In our own lives, how can we cultivate that same intentionality?
For sure.
Now, we keep hearing about these 4 host nations.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about who they are?
Yeah.
What is their role in the upcoming games?
The 4 host nations are the Musqueam,
Okay.
Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh,
Okay.
and Lil'wat nations.
Got it.
They're all coming together
to
co-host the 2025 Invictus Games.
Cool.
And it's a big moment for acknowledging and celebrating Indigenous culture on a global stage.
Huge.
Yeah.
I also noticed that Prince Harry took part in a gift exchange.
Oh, right.
With young people from each nation.
Uh-huh.
What was the meaning behind that?
Well, these weren't just your average souvenirs.
Right.
The gifts exchanged represented heritage and pride.
Okay.
So, for example, Harry received a hand-carved paddle,
Cool.
a symbol of leadership and strength.
Wow.
In a lot of Indigenous cultures.
That's really special.
These exchanges went beyond just being polite.
Yeah.
It was a real commitment to honoring and understanding their traditions.
It seems like they're really making an effort to go deeper than the typical celebrity appearance.
Exactly.
Really engage with the Indigenous communities.
Definitely. This visit wasn't just about promoting the games.
Okay.
It was a step towards reconciliation, showing a genuine interest in understanding the history, culture, and perspectives of the First Nations people.
That's great.
And this commitment to connection, it goes way beyond the visit itself.
Okay, let's talk about the Invictus Games themselves.
Right.
I have to say, I was really moved watching that Heart of Invictus documentary.
Oh, yeah.
The stories of these athletes are just incredible.
That documentary is amazing. It captures the heart of the games.
Yeah.
It's not just about athletic competition.
Right.
It's about the power of sport to heal, inspire, and transform.
Absolutely. I was especially touched by Daryl Lang,
Oh, yeah.
the Canadian athlete who struggled with PTSD and homelessness before finding purpose
Yeah.
through the games.
His story just goes to show how powerful the Invictus Games can be.
Wow.
It shows how finding a community and purpose can help you overcome huge challenges and reclaim your life.
And then you've got Gabe George from the U.S.
Yeah.
adapting to archery after losing an arm.
It's such a powerful image.
So resilient.
Absolutely. And we can't forget Tom Falwell from Team UK,
Right.
who lost both legs to an IED, and Vicky Ross,
Yeah.
who rediscovered herself through the games after dealing with multiple injuries.
It's amazing.
These athletes are breaking down barriers,
Totally.
proving that we are capable of extraordinary things.
Yeah.
The games give them a platform to rewrite their stories.
Right.
Not as victims,
Yeah.
but as champions.
It's so inspiring to see them push past their limits.
Yeah.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, the 2025 games in Vancouver and Whistler,
Oh, yeah.
they're going to be pretty special.
They are.
It's the first ever winter edition.
That's right. It's a huge moment for the games.
Yeah.
Imagine the athleticism and determination
I know.
it takes to compete in sports like alpine skiing,
Right.
snowboarding,
Wow.
and wheelchair
I
curling.
can't wait to see those events.
It's going to be great.
And this is the first time a country is hosting the Invictus Games twice,
I know. It's pretty awesome.
which speaks to Canada's commitment to the Games
Yeah.
and their message of resilience.
It's clear that Prince Harry is incredibly passionate about these games
Yeah.
and the power of sport to heal and unite.
For sure.
But his involvement goes so much deeper.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah.
curious to hear more about that.
Okay.
What else have you found in your deep dive into this connection?
Well, let's think back to the quote from Harry's office.
Okay.
About the power of personal connections in the pursuit of understanding and healing.
Right.
This visit to the Musqueam Reserve,
Uh-huh.
his appearance at the Grey Cup,
Yep.
his work promoting the Games School program.
Wow.
It all points to something bigger than just a sporting event.
So it's about more than just the competition itself.
Exactly.
It's about the connections made along the way.
Absolutely. And that leads us to a big question for everyone listening.
Okay.
How can we tap into that spirit of connection in our own lives?
That's a really great question.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a moment to keep going with this deep dive
Sounds good.
into the Invictus Games and the power of connection.
Looking forward to it.
And don't forget, you can find links to everything we've talked about in the episode description.
This deep dive is really uncovering something special.
I know, right? It's like we're peeling back the layers.
Yeah.
And with each new thing we learn, it gets deeper and more complex.
Exactly.
We talked about Prince Harry and his commitment to reconciliation
Mm-hmm.
with Indigenous communities. But I want to know more about the 4 host nations.
Yeah.
What's their role in all of this?
Well, their involvement is huge.
Okay.
It shows how much they value inclusivity and cultural exchange.
Wow.
It's a chance for everyone to see how rich and resilient Indigenous cultures are.
So historically speaking,
Yeah.
how big of a deal is this collaboration
It's huge.
between Canada and the First Nations people,
It's a step towards healing and reconciliation.
especially given their history?
Absolutely. For so long, Indigenous communities in Canada have been fighting
Right.
for recognition and respect
Yeah.
for their cultures and traditions.
I see.
And by partnering with them for the Invictus Games,
Yeah.
Canada is acknowledging their role in shaping the nation
Powerful.
and taking a real step towards honoring their contributions.
And what about the athletes?
Yeah.
How will this impact them?
It's a chance for them to connect
Oh, really?
with Indigenous cultures and learn from their experiences. It
Yeah.
can foster understanding,
Mm,
empathy, and appreciation for diversity.
that's great.
It's a chance to break down barriers
Yeah.
and celebrate our shared humanity.
The Invictus Games really do serve as a platform
Absolutely.
for all kinds of connections,
They do.
personal and cultural,
Right. It's not just about winning.
for sure.
It's about building bridges
Mhm.
and coming together.
You mentioned Harry's appearance at the Grey Cup.
Oh.
Is that another example of this?
Totally. By taking part in that Canadian tradition,
Right.
he was able to connect with a wider audience,
Yeah.
raise awareness for the games,
Okay.
and show that he's willing to embrace Canadian culture.
That's cool. And the Invictus Games School program, too.
Yeah,
That seems like it's all about resilience and sportsmanship.
exactly. By bringing the games and their message to schools,
Uh-huh.
Harry's helping to build a culture of empathy and respect among young people.
That's great.
It's about creating a better future.
It's clear that Prince Harry wants the games to be more than just a competition.
Definitely.
He's using his platform to do some real good in the world,
He is.
fostering connections and inspiring positive change.
Absolutely. And it's not just what he's doing,
Right.
it's how he's doing it.
Uh-huh.
His authenticity,
Yeah.
his desire to connect with people,
I see.
that's what makes it so impactful.
You can feel his passion,
For sure.
his commitment.
It's not just words. It's a belief in the power of human connection.
So powerful. And it brings us back to that question.
Oh, yeah.
How can we live by the Invictus spirit?
Right.
How can we foster these connections?
It's a question worth thinking about.
Definitely is. We'll be back in just a sec
Okay.
to really dig into that final thought
Sounds good.
and explore how we can all embrace the Invictus spirit.
Looking forward to it.
And hey, if you're enjoying this deep dive,
Yeah.
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Timely Trends and News.
It means a lot to us.
We really appreciate your support.
Wow.
We've really been on a journey with this one.
It's amazing how it all started.
I know, right?
With Harry's visit to Canada.
Right.
And now we're exploring connection and reconciliation.
Yeah, and the power of the human spirit.
Absolutely.
And talking about ripple effects.
Yeah.
What kind of lasting impact do you think the Invictus Games will have?
Well, I think they're changing how we see disability.
Uh-huh.
They show how strong and resilient wounded, injured, and sick service members are.
I see.
The games challenge us to think differently and show that limitations.
Right.
They're often just something we put on ourselves.
It's about pushing past what we think is possible.
Exactly. And not just for the athletes,
Right.
but for all of us watching.
Yeah, and that sense of community at the games.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's amazing.
It's not just competition. It's about supporting each other.
Totally.
And celebrating each other's wins.
It's a powerful reminder that we're not alone in our struggles.
Absolutely. Sometimes just talking about them could be the first step towards healing.
It's interesting how Harry's own journey connects with the mission of the games.
Right.
His military experience, his struggles.
It all informs his commitment.
You can tell it's not just a role he's playing.
Oh, he genuinely cares.
He's walking the walk.
Yeah. And that makes a difference.
Definitely. It shows how important it is to find purpose, especially after facing hardship.
The games give these athletes that purpose.
That was true.
A way to turn their experiences into something positive.
It's a reminder that even when things are tough, there's always hope.
Absolutely. And sometimes our greatest triumphs come from our toughest challenges.
I think that's a perfect takeaway from this deep dive.
The Invictus Games are more than just sports.
Right.
They're about the strength of the human spirit and the power of connection to heal and inspire.
It's been an amazing journey.
It has.
Exploring these themes.
Definitely.
Connection, reconciliation, and resilience.
We learned so much.
From these athletes.
Yeah, from Harry.
So as we wrap up, remember the Invictus spirit.
Embrace the challenges.
Seek out connections.
Never underestimate the power we have
to overcome anything.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Invictus Games.
It's been a pleasure.
Don't forget to check out the links in the episode description.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this episode,
I'd love for you to like,
share,
and subscribe to Timely Trends and News
for more deep dives like this one.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep connecting.